Everybody agree?
Yes.
Might be, you'll think about it. Okay, Moray's been doing this lesson for a long time. He's going to continue with the lesson about the Galileans, and they're speaking this particular language. Read on verse 8.
And how do we hear, each one in their own language in which we were born?
Uh-huh. Yeah, 9 to 10.
9 to 10?
Mm-hmm.
Parthians and Medians and...
Right, Parthians. Anybody know what people are Parthians? Huh?
What's the media, I believe?
Yeah, what's the nationality of these people? Parthians.
All of them, right?
Verse 5. If you can read verse 5 for me, Shlach Yahuah.
Verse 5.
Uh-huh.
And there were dwelling at Jerusalem, Yahudim, devout men out of every nation under heaven.
Right, read verse 9. Now verse 9.
Parthians,
So who are Parthians?
Yahudim.
Parthians. Yeah, what we're trying to share here is that these are all Israelites. because verse 5, because verse 5 answers the question. And so they're now going to describe who these people are who are at Shavuot.
Right.
So yes, so they are Parthians, and who else? Who's reading? Okay, we have Coach Rose. So these Parthians are Israelites. They are Yahudims.
I can read all this.
Oh, you can't read all of them? All right. Okay, so we have Medes. Anybody know who the Medes are? Huh?
Israelites.
Right. I mean, nothing is changed.
It's just naming places.
Yeah, exactly. They're coming from all over Shamayim. They're coming from North Carolina, Georgia, Jersey, Florida, Alabama. They're coming from all over the place, from under Shamayim.
So we have the 3 pilgrimage feasts.
Right.
The pilgrimage, but like he said, the men have to report 3 times a year.
Right. Exactly. So the Parthians, the Medes, the Elamites, the dwellers in Mesopotamia, Judea, Cappadocia, Pontus, Asia Minor, Phrygia, Pamphylia, and Egypt, and in the parts of Libya, about Cyrene, and strangers in Rome, Yahudim and proselytes. Anybody know who the proselytes are?
Israelites.
Huh?
Israelites.
Right. Okay. Now we have this. This may become
Those like Ruth.
right. Actually, you know what? Remember the Mashiyach said, listen, he told the Pharisees that you cross land and sea, okay, to try to make one a proselyte as yourself. It's just like in today's society, you have like a Republican Party and a Democratic Party. And so what happened now is that these are still Israelites. So each party now was to bring that person to their party. The Pharisees would cross land and sea, okay, and try to get that person now to believe in the beliefs that they're in. The Sadducees was doing the same thing. So we have 2 political parties in Jerusalem, and they're looking for members of their parties. The same thing that they do today with the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. So we don't want anybody to get sidetracked or anything like that. And it ended. It told us in Acts, the 2nd chapter, verse 5, that they're all Yahudims. They all Yahud. This is who they are.
So, which is very important, Moray, because like you say, he said they're making people 2 times more proselyte. But you got to remember, the Pharisees, them now, they weren't going to other nations. That was a no-no for them.
Oh,
You make that up. They were not going to other nations.
No, that's not going to happen. Not going to happen at all. Even the Pharisees had problems with Northern Kingdom Israelites. Even it is to the, to put it this way, they say that Northern Kingdom, they're done away with. They're gone. And this is the reason why, not to get into too much into it, this is the reason why the disciples of the Mashiyach were having problems with the Pharisees, because the whole thing was circumcision and all this other stuff. And Maureen's been going over that lesson with a fine-tooth comb, doing a very good job in trying to make sure that we understand this was all about Northern Kingdom, Southern Kingdom, from beginning to end. Okay. Let's move on. If there's any more questions, well, okay, we can do a quick question.
Yeah, it's about proselytes. I always thought proselytes were those who were Yahudi,
Right.
but that they were sharing the Gentile faith system.
Right.
That's what I thought proselytes.
Exactly. And as you know, context is going to have to be very important, because we do know that the strangers can participate in the festivals, but there was a list of things that they needed to do. If it was a male, you had to be circumcised, you had to pledge his allegiance to Torah, the whole 9 yards and everything like that. And so, but what I'm trying to share here now is that it said here, unless there's a different writing or something like that, I have here, they were dwelling in Jerusalem, Yahudim, devout men out of every nation. Then it goes on to explain who these people are, and what's going to be very important that this was now in a location called Asia Minor. All right, John was sitting on the island of Patmos in Asia Minor. Okay, so this is going to be extremely, extremely important. Warrior's going to pick it back up, and he's going to knock it out of the park next Shabbat. Now, Mishpachah, before the Amorites, all right? Before the Amorites are giants. These people were occupying a part of the land that would eventually belong to Israelites, all right? So I want everybody to pay very close attention to what's going on here. Where you see Bashan, Ammon, Moab, field of Moab, it is very important for us to understand, if you follow along, this is now what we call the east side of Jerusalem, the east side. If you look at Bashan, and you see right, there's a line there, and it looks like the second little parcel there, if I cannot show it here. This little spot here, this would be like the Jordan. So Bashan, Ammon, Moab, the field of Moab, all of this here now is before the Amorites, and this is considered the east side of the Jordan. You can zoom in that, you can see that pretty good. We good? Cain, low, maybe so. All right. So let's prove some of that. Deuteronomy 2 and 9. Devarim 2 and 9. Deuteronomy 2 and 9. If we can really understand or understand that this is our book, this is ours. It's just that we have to make sure that we understand it correctly. 2 and 9. And Yahuah said unto me, which is Moshe, which is very important. Look at the map again. Look at the location. And Yahuah said unto me, distress not the Moabites. Again, distress not the Moabites. Neither contend with them in battle, for I will not give you of their land for a possession, because I have given Ar, which is a capital now of Moab, and we're now looking at this location here. Above here now, I should have drew a line here now, is that we have what we call the river of Arnon. So below the river Arnon, we have Moab, the field of Moab. That land was allotted to the Moabites. Do not go to battle with them. Don't contend with them. I have given them their possession, because I have given Ar into the children of Lot. The children of Lot. Who are the children of Lot? Right, Moab here. And these are the children of incest. Okay? Ammon and Moab are the children of incest. Now, we're looking at the east side of the Jordan. We now have a problem because we're looking at, let's do it this way. Let's go to Israelite encampment. All right? Israelite encampment. We're going to go to the book of Judges, the 11th chapter. Judges, the 11th chapter. I'm going to read at verse 1. Watch how this gets very interesting. It says, now Jephthah, the Gileadite. If Jephthah was a Gileadite, we need to know where is Gilead. Where is that? So, if you look at tribal allocations, all right, we have Gilead. This is going to be around Nashon or a little bit higher. And the people that are actually living in that land now are people from the tribe of Manasseh. That is Manasseh. Now that's going to be very important because this is tribal allocations, and we now have Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh now living in that land. And Jephthah the Gilead was a mighty man of valor, and he was the son of an harlot, some say a concubine. But remember this now, his father was an Israelite, but his mother was the son of an harlot, and Gilead begot Jephthah. And Gilead's wife bore him sons, and his wife's sons grew up, and they thrust out Jephthah and said unto him, Thou shalt not inherit our father's house, for thou art the son of a strange woman. This strange woman is an harlot. I just wanted to share this. What's going on in verses 1 and 2 is that inheritance is so important. Seed, bloodline, and lineage is that we have the sons now saying, listen, your mother is a harlot. She's not a worthy woman. So they kicked out Jephthah, okay, and he dwelled in a certain land, which is called the land of Tob. The land of Tob. If somebody can, the word inherit, the Strong's number 5157. What definition do you have for that? It says in verse 2, thou shalt not inherit. Just put your little icon there, and you should have the Strong's number 5157 so that everybody can participate, because this is the conclusion. This is it. All right, so this is like 6 weeks of this, all right? And I just want to make sure I bring what I believe is a strong argument. The word inherit, the Strong's number 5157. Yes.
To get as a possession, acquire, inherit, possess, to take a possession, to have or to get as possession or property, to divide the land for a possession, and it says to acquire testimony. Okay,
great, excellent. So everything from Genesis to Revelation is about an inheritance. All right? We are now actually the bride of the Mashiyach. The Mashiyach gave us property, land, an inheritance, which goes back now to the book of Ruth. Well, we're still in the book of Ruth, but it lets us know now what's going on with Naomi. With Naomi, I got to speed it up here now. The land of Tob. The Strong's number 2897. What do you have for that? Verse 3. I'll just read verse 3 right quick. Then Jephthah, he was kicked out from his father's house, and he fled from his brethren, and he dwelt in a land called Tob, and everybody knows the word Tob is good. And there were gathered vain men to Jephthah, and went out with him. So, what I wanted to share is that I'm going to read now 11 to 28. The book of Judges, I'm going to stay there, verses 11 to 28. Let's speed it up here a little bit. Then Jephthah went with the elders of Gilead, and the people made him head and captain over them. And Jephthah uttered all his words before Yahuah and Mizpah. And so what I found interesting in verse 11, it says he spoke with the men of Gilead. We're still talking about the east side of the Jordan. This is where Jephthah is at. All right? The tribe of Manasseh, and he's now about to contend now with the Ammonites. Not Amorites, but the Ammonites. Verse 12. And Jephthah sent messengers unto the king of the children of Ammon, and these are the children of the two sons of Lot. And Jephthah sent messengers unto the king of the children of Ammon, saying, What hast thou to do with me, that thou art come against me to fight in my land? My land. Prior to Israel inhabiting this land, who occupied that land? Go. Right, the Amorites. And the king of the children of Ammon answered unto the messengers of Jephthah, because Israel took away my land when they came up out of Egypt from Arnon. Watch this now. This is going to be very important. Israelites encamping. All right? From the river Arnon, they're saying, the Ammonites, that you took this land because when you look at before the Amorites now, you have Ammon taking all this land up here. But we do have Moab taking a portion after the Amorites. We have the Moabites now taking some of the land up in this area here, close to the west side of the plains here. So we have the east side and the west side, and some of this area here belongs to the Moabites. Making sure we're good. So, verse 13, and the king of the children of Ammon answered unto the messengers of Jephthah, because Israel took away my land when they came out of Egypt from Arnon up, even up into Jabbok. Do I have a map there that's showing Jabbok? I do not. You're going to have to do it on your free time. All right? From Arnon even up into Jabbok. But Jabbok now would actually now be all the way up here by where we see the Amorites, who was the king of Bashan. So it's all the way up here. They're claiming that the Israelites had taken that land. Because Israel took away my land when they came out of Egypt from Arnon even into Jabbok unto the Jordan. Now therefore restore these lands again peaceably. And Jephthah sent messengers again to the king of the children of Ammon, and said unto him, Thus saith Jephthah, watch, this is very important. Israel took not away the land of Moab. The land of Moab is, when you look at your maps again, the land of Moab actually, no, not that one there. Let's look at before the Amorites. We're talking about the Arnon River again. Moab on this, below the Arnon River, and after that we have Edom. So we have Edom, we have Moab, and then we have Ammon. Those were the main participants of that land before the Amorites. And Jephthah sent messengers again unto the king of the children of Ammon. He said unto them, Thus saith Jephthah, Israel took not away the land of Moab, nor the land of the children of Ammon. But when Israel came up from Egypt and walked through the wilderness into the Red Sea and came to Kadesh, then Israel sent messengers unto the king of Edom, saying, Let me, I pray thee, pass through your land. But the king of Edom would not hearken thereto. And in like manner, because when we look at the maps now, we have, as Israel is coming from out of Egypt, they're going around, I'll show it this way. They're coming down, and we're taking the long route. Anybody know why we took the long route, or the Father had us to go the long way into the Promised Land? Because we're hard-headed, stiff-necked people. It took 40 years for us to come to the understanding that, listen, that we're the Father's people and that we have to follow His laws, statutes, commandments. It took 40 years. Can you imagine telling somebody something for 40 years? And as soon as we got into the land, we forgot everything that we learned for and even a generation had to die, okay, because it just wasn't getting it. As some of us do today. Not saying nobody here, because we all good here, right? Okay, hallelujah. Then Israel sent messengers to the king of Edom, saying, let me, I pray thee, pass through your land. But the king of Edom would not hearken thereto, and in like manner they went into the king of Moab. So you have Edom, then after that you have Moab. But he would not contend, and Israel abode in Kadesh. Then they went along through the wilderness and compassed the land of Edom and the land of Moab, and came by the east side of the land of the east side, this is important, the east side of the land of Moab, and pitched on the other side of Arnon. The Arnon is the river now that's separating now Moab from before the Amorites. We have Moab, and then above the Arnon River we have Ammon. So that's that border, that river. Now, but came not within the border of Moab. For Arnon, watching that, for Arnon was the border of Moab. Okay, so if Arnon is the border of Moab, looking at the map, anybody know where the plains of Moab is on the map? Where would that be?
Would it be in the up where Ammon's territory is, where that little river is at?
Right. So if this is the border of Moab, okay, the Arnon River, we have way up here the plains of Moab. According to Scripture, okay, below, all right, the Arnon River, that land belonged to Moab. The question now becomes, how is it that Moab has land way up here where the Reubenites would eventually get their land? How did they get, why are they way up there? Well, the scriptures is telling us that that land was not allotted to the Moabites. It just wasn't. This is where I found it to get real interesting. And Israel sent messengers to Sihon, king of the Amorites. So, this is Sihon, king of the Amorites. All right? Then we have Bashan way up here. Okay? He's also king of the Amorites. But guess what? The Amorites were a very, very powerful people. They owned territories on both the east and the west side of the Jordan. They were a mighty people. I think it's in the book of Amos 2 and 9. Let me try that right quick. Amos 2 and 9. Amos 2 and, yep. You have it, Arcade? What you got? What do you have?
It says, yet destroyed I the Amorite before them, whose height was like the height of the cedars, and he was strong as the oaks. Yet I destroyed his fruit from above, and his roots from beneath.
Hallelujah. So I just found it real interesting because a lot of people don't believe that there were giants back in those days. They believe that it was a figure of speech, 8 minutes. Man, y'all still in time trouble. That's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair. Okay, 2 and 9. And again, and yet destroyed I the Amorites before them, the Israelites, whose height was like the height of the cedars, and he was strong as the oaks. Yet I destroyed. I is the father of Yahuah, destroyed his fruits from above and his roots from beneath. Back to the book of Judges. The book of Judges. The book of Judges, the 11th chapter. Verse 19. And Yashra'al sent messengers to Sihon, king of the Amorites, which is above the Arnon River, the king of Heshbon, and Israel said unto him, let us pass, we pray thee, through your land unto my place. But Sihon trusted not Israel to pass through his coast, watch what Sihon is going to do. He's going to do something different now than Moab and Edom. But Sihon trusted not Israel to pass through his coast. But Sihon gathered all his people together and pitched in Jahaz and fought against Israel. And Yahuah Elohim of Yashra'al delivered Sihon and all his people into the hands of Yashra'al. So, when we begin to look at all the cities of Sihon, which is above the Arnon River, Israel became the owners of all of this land, all the way up into Heshbon. They have Damascus here, but it might be a little bit further up, where you have Hebron. Israel, now I'm going to get more particular, they owned all of that land. So they didn't take it from the Moabites. The Amorites took it from the Moabites. Israel took it from the Amorites. We have here in Judges that they're saying that you took it from us, but the Father already allotted Moab their land, which was below the Arnon River, not above the Arnon River. All right? So,
They're trying to be greedy.
yeah. Let's see how this whole thing plays out. And Yahuah Elohim of Israel delivered Sihon and all his people into the land to the hand of Israel, and they smote them. So Israel possessed all the land of the Amorites on the east side, not the west side, for right now, the inhabitants of that country, and they possessed all the coast of the Amorites, from Arnon even into Jabbok, and from the wilderness even into the Jordan. The Jordan would be this little area right here. This is the Jordan. That would be the Jordan. So now, Yahuah Elohim of Yashra'al has disposed the Amorites from before his people Yashra'al. Now, this is what I found that was funny. And so now Japheth is saying, now listen, the Father has done all this for the nation of Yashra'al. He's killed now the Amorites and given us their land. Are you now trying to tell me now is that we're going to now give you the land? All right. The Father done this for us. For us now, why should I now give you the land that the Father gave for us? All right. And should as you possess it, will not thou possess that which Komesh, your Elohim, giveth to you? So whomsoever Yahuah our Elohim shall drive out from before us, them will we possess. Verse 25, and now art thou anything better than Balak the son of Zippor, king of Moab? Did he ever strive against Israel? Or did he ever strive against Israel? Or did he ever fight against them? While Israel dwelt in Heshbon, I talked about Heshbon a little bit earlier, which is around Damascus, Heshbon. When Israel dwelt in Heshbon and her towns, and in Aroer, not Ar, because these are two separate locations, and in Aroer, and her towns, and in all the cities that belong to the coast of Arnon, 300 years. Why therefore did you not recover them within that time? Wherefore I have not sinned against you, but thou didst me wrong to war against me. Yahuah the judge be judged this day between the children of Israel and the children of Ammon. They're about to go to war. However, now the king of the children of Ammon hearkened not unto the words of Japheth, which he sent out to him. So just to speed things up a little bit here now. So now we have the situation where Japheth now, his brothers have called him back because he's a great man of valor. Of valor. All right, we'll get to we'll stop it, right? And so he's a great man of valor. And so they call now back for Jephthah. And Jephthah now is going to lead this army now to destroy or to defeat